One day, a wise professor walked into his classroom carrying a large, empty jar. The students watched curiously, whispering to each other, wondering what lesson he was about to teach. Without saying a word, he placed the jar on the table and filled it with large rocks until no more could fit. He looked at the class and asked, "Is the jar full?" The students nodded. "Yes, Professor, it's full." He smiled gently, then picked up a box of small pebbles and poured them in. The pebbles slid into the spaces between the rocks, settling into the gaps. Again, he asked, "Now, is the jar full?" The students laughed a little this time. "Yes, now it's definitely full." The professor didn't stop. He lifted a container of sand and poured it slowly into the jar. The fine grains trickled into every remaining space, filling it to the brim. "How about now?" he asked. The class responded louder. "Yes, Professor, it's full now." But the professor wasn't finished. He took a glass of water and gently poured it into the jar. The water seeped in easily, soaking the sand. The students burst into laughter, amazed that even more could fit. Then, with a calm but powerful voice, the professor explained, "This jar is your life. The large rocks represent the most important things: your family, your health, your dreams, your passions. If everything else was lost, but these remained, your life would still be meaningful. The pebbles are the other things that matter: your career, your house, your possessions. Important, yes, but not as vital as the rocks. And the sand represents the countless small things, the distractions, the scrolling, the arguments, the little worries that fill up your day. If you put the sand in first, there's no room for the rocks. If you waste your energy on the trivial, you'll never have space for what truly matters." He paused, letting the silence speak. Then he lifted the glass of water. "And this is joy." A reminder that no matter how full life seems, there's always room for small pleasures: a walk in the park, a cup of tea with a friend, a quiet moment for yourself. The classroom went silent. The message was clear. Now think about your own life. Isn't it true that sometimes we fill our days with sand, endless scrolling through our phones, chasing approval from people who don't matter, worrying about things we won't even remember a year from now? And in doing so, we push aside the rocks. We postpone calling our parents. We neglect our health. We bury our dreams under the weight of daily distractions. But what if we did it differently? What if we placed the rocks first? What if we made time for family dinners, for chasing our dreams, for taking care of our bodies and minds? Suddenly, the pebbles and sand would still fit, but in the right order. Our lives would feel balanced, complete. So ask yourself today, what are my rocks? Is it your family, your health, your passion project, your faith? And then ask, what sand am I letting steal their place? Because in the end, life is not about being busy, it's about being meaningful. The jar will always fill up with something. Make sure it's filled with what truly matters. And when you get that right, you'll discover that there's still room left for water, for joy, for laughter, for those little moments that make life truly worth living.